Guys, what's up? In this video, we'll read about main branches of anthropology, the scope and relevance. We'll do the second topic of anthropology in the next class, and you will be able to relate to the subject much more after studying this one. So the branches of anthropology are divided into two branches, that is sociocultural branch and the biological branch. First, sociocultural branch includes sociocultural anthropology, linguistic anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and the other branch includes only biological anthropology. Let's see the first one, that is biological anthropology or the new physical anthropology. It is the oldest branch of anthropology that deals with the evolution and variation of human beings and applied knowledge of biological sciences. Guys, we'll follow the similar pattern in each and every branch or each and every subject of anthropology. Uh, in exam, okay, this topic is asked mostly every time, like alternate years in exam. So this is one of the most important topic of anthropology, and also this one doesn't include much to understand. It's more only mugging a part. Okay, so you just have to memorize it. So first we can introduce the topic, then we can see the development of it, scopes, relevance, and the conclusion. Okay, let's see the development of biological anthropology. Earlier, it was called as physical anthropology, as only the physical features of the man was studied in this. But with the time, new aspects like biotech, forensic, cytogenetics, population biology, etc., came into being. Hence, biological anthropology is a preferred term over physical anthropology. If we study about the scopes, studying origin and the evolution of man by studying primatology and paleoanthropology. Primatology is the study of living primates, and the paleoanthropology is the study of human fossils. Other scope is studying human variation, studying applied aspects of human biology, applied physical anthropology. Okay, this one includes forensics, genetic counseling, and sports and nutrition part. If you see the relevance, knowledge of human evolution helps in knowing man's relationship with other species. It has a practical relevance in the drug industries. Okay. As you know that before introducing a drug into the market, uh, we do tests on other animals. Like first we do it on rats, and then we move on to monkeys, and then after successful tests and trials, we launch it into the market. Okay. uh, it, Other relevances are revolutionary role in the field of identification, like forensics. As you know, CID and all other departments, we have investigation department that rely on biological part or biological anthropology heavily, ensuring better health, food, and nutrition security, protecting and promoting environment. It can promote the world of sports, strengthening defense system of nation, and combating racism. Okay, how we can like strengthen defense by using the biological anthropology has a sub-subject, or you can say as anthropometry. That is, it studies the dimension, it studies the physical dimension of bodily parts. Okay, but it's not given into our syllabus, so we are not studying it. But for your knowledge, I've mentioned it, and we can conclude the topic. Thus, biological anthropology deals with biological aspects of man in a holistic manner. As a result, it can contribute to various practical purposes of man. Okay, move on to the next branch, that is socio-cultural branch. Socio-cultural anthropology includes ways of life of people in terms of space and time. It started in 19th century in the form of ethnology. The basic aim of socio-cultural anthropology is to generate meaningful scientific laws of human behavior across the globe. Its development, the branch had a systematic beginning with the theory of classical evolutionism in the late 19th century. Guys, theory of classical evolutionism, will study this in detail in the theories of anthropology. Okay, it is given in the syllabus as well. So you just need to memorize here. We'll study in detail in the upcoming topic. This was earlier called ethnology, but later replaced with the term sociocultural anthropology. Okay, before 1953, socio-anthropology in Britain and cultural anthropology in US was studied independently. Okay, these two subjects were studied independently before 1953. In 1953, there was an international symposium of anthropology, and both the subjects came together to form socio-cultural anthropology. If we read about scopes, it studies society and culture in holistic and integrated manner. Holistic here means studying all the societies on earth, that is from tribal to the modern societies, and integrated means studying all the institutions together. Institutions, for example, polity, economics, marriage, and religion, magic, etc. These are the institutions that we have to study in integrative manner in socio-cultural anthropology. Um, Socio-cultural anthropology compares different societies and cultures across the world, thereby bringing universal behavior of man. Okay. The relevance data collected by anthropologists can be used to form in the policy formation for the welfare of masses. Okay, this is the flowchart that I have already used in the first uh, topic also, and it is very much uh, re- we can use it here as well. So you can just like copy it or something. Relativism creates awareness, whereby it increases the level of toleration and decreases the conflict, and we get peace and prosperity. Uh, in conclusion, we can write thus the socio-cultural anthropology studies socio-cultural aspects of man in totality. As a result, it can develop a complete picture of man throughout the world, which can largely contribute to the solution of many problems of humanity. Okay, things will overlap in the branches of anthropology, but exam we are uh, asked only to write only one branch of anthropology. So you don't have to worry about overlapping uh, stuff in branches of anthropology here. Okay, let's move on to the linguistic anthropology. Linguistic and anthropology is the youngest branch and can be defined as the study of language from the anthropological perspective. It deals with how language is related to various aspects of socio-cultural life of man, since language is the most important aspect of human culture. Okay, why language is most important aspect of human culture? Because culture is passed on from generation to generation with the help of language. As you know, other species, any other species does not have any language. They don't have any language, so they cannot pass their culture from generation to generation, and only human have it. Okay. Okay, guys. So if you see the development, E.B. Taylor was the first anthropologist to study the problem of origin of language, and however, it was Dalheimer, trained and linguist, who made an effort to consolidate all the work of anthropology in the study of language in 1960. He defined linguistic anthropology as a study of language in anthropology. Okay, why there is a problem in origin of language? Why can't we study the problem? Why can't we study the origin of language? There's a problem. I'll tell you in a bit. Okay, first let's see the scopes. Language is considered as a vehicle of culture. Studying personality of a culture, it studies personality of a culture as like we individuals have different personality. Culture also has a unique personality, and it differs from place to place. Ethnolinguists and the metalinguists. Okay, ethnolinguists are those anthropologists who are interested in language, studying language, but they only study the classification of it. Whereas metalinguists are the anthropologists who are interested in studying origin and evolution of language in simple societies. Okay. Other scope is studying origin of language, how language emerged, what the relevance of it. It enables us to understand the culture of tribal people in a comprehensive manner, helps in understanding core of human culture and how they have passed on, helps in revealing the most vexed issue of origin and evolution, social structure, cultural symbol, and relationship between mind and society can be appreciated. Okay, why I said that, why we can't study the origin and evolution of language, guys? Uh, how do we speak? We have vocal cords, and that's why how we speak. Okay, but vocal cords are soft, made of soft tissues. They are not hard like bones. So what do we get in the fossils of men? is only the hard part, that is the skull, bones, and all. But we do not find any soft tissues because they degenerate very uh, fast, okay, compared to the other hard portions of our body. That's why there's no existence of vocal cords that we can study in the fossils, and that is how it becomes a difficult task for uh, anthropologists and other researchers to study the origin of language. But in the recent time, we now have this we are now studying origin with the help of Broca's area and the Wernicke area that are present in our brain. Okay, Broca's area is used for speech, whereas Wernicke area is used for articulation or comprehension of that. Okay, you can Google it. I forgot to put the picture of them. Area Broca's, Brochas, Broca's area, and Wernicke area, Weirnick, Nick. Okay, these are the area present in the brain, and that's how we are currently studying. This is the brain, this is like Broca's area, and we can Wernicke area. And we can conclude the topic like, thus linguistic anthropology studied in relation to the culture, hence culture could be studied in a holistic way. Okay, last branch of the anthropology, that is archaeological anthropology or the prehistoric anthropology. It is a study of origin, growth, and development of culture and society. During prehistoric and historic period, the scope of anthropology, archaeological anthropology, is mainly associated with the people lacking script. Okay, this is a timeline. This is prehistory. This is proto-history, and that this is history. Archaeology covers prehistory to history, whereas archaeological anthropology only covers the prehistory where we did not have script. Okay, we do not have a written document. In proto-history, we have script, but we cannot understand it. As you know, that in this civilization we had script, but we cannot, we have not been able to decipher it till now. And history is where we have script present, and as well as we can understand them. So archaeological anthropology only studied the portion where we did not have any script. Okay, what are the scopes of it? Studying society and culture of the remotest past from prehistoric time, excavates prehistoric sites, collect artifacts created by man in the remote past. Evidence is mainly found in the river terraces and the moraines. Okay, these terms you must have studied in the geography. Terraces are formed by the river, whereas moraines we can found in the glaciers, are deposits made by glacial melting. Okay, based on the methods of data collection by the anthropologists, we can shed light on the economic activities of people. Presence of sickle indicate it's a tool that is used for cultivation, and its presence we can it indicates the present practice of crop cultivation. Certain aspects of religious belief can also be understood by burial sites, observation, and the artifact kept in the grave. Example, presence of artifacts in graveyard reflects that they had faith in life after death. Okay, some of the society in some of the societies we find uh, artifacts present alongside the remains of a fossil, which indicates the life after death. They had faith in them. Okay, but the relevance, even in the absence of script, we can understand society and culture of ancient time, which helps in reconstruction of human history, helps in understanding evolution of society and culture. It helps in understanding climate regime of the ancient past, which in turn enable us to understand the culture better. Okay, so for the conclusion, archaeological anthropology helps in studying society and culture in a holistic sense in terms of time and space. Okay, guys, this was the lecture. It doesn't have anything to explain. Just to have you have to memorize it. I have given it like quite a bit of information here. You can write it down in your notes as well. Okay, I'll see you in the next class.